Burgundy Ballers, welcome back to another offseason and pre-draft episode of the Ballin in Burgundy podcast. Yeah, I got myself, I got Chris, and Andrew are just sitting out right now. They're working and they're doing schoolwork, so prayers out to them. But we got a long time we got a guest coming back. It's been a minute, but we got the one, the only, a new father in the building, and the Tim's Sports Talk, 1/3 of the Command Dads. What's going on?
Hey, we're a week away and
Yeah.
excited. It's finally all this noise is going to come to an end and a pick will
Woo!
be made. But yeah, life is busy but life is good. So we're here.
Hey, we're here. When you guys see this, we'll be 5 days away. We'll be way days away from the NFL draft. All these smoke screens, all these betting odds, all these Team Drake versus Team Jayden versus Team JJ versus Team Panics versus Bo Nix.
Yep.
All the hype, all the talks are going to come down this Adam Peters' first draft. Josh Harris's true first draft under new man. Like, it's going to get hot, but guys, NGL did two things: like and subscribe here on the channel. Hit that notification bell to every time that we upload Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. We got the rest of our prospect breakdowns. We got some different TikToks and fun and reels going out. And we're going to have our live stream Thursday night, April 25th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Like we did last year, going to have lots of fun. Going to hopefully have a guest or two if we can, make things work around here. If not, going to have a good time. And y'all are
Mhm.
going to go in the description, go to his YouTube and his Instagram being Tim's. All links down in the description. Give him a follow because he's back on our
Mhm.
gracious screens on YouTube after a
Yep.
busy life. And go support him. He's been great with us. Can't say things enough. But like, subscribe here on the channel. Head over to the Tim Sports Talk Instagram and YouTube. Like, subscribe, and follow him all over there. Before actually we get into it, I want to say a quick prayer out to AJ Simon's family. Amitral AJ Simon passed away back on Wednesday. He was a University of Albany edge rusher who had 12 and a half sacks this past season. He passed away on Wednesday unexpectedly. So prayers out to him, his family. Hope they can just find grace and healing and wholeness. The GoFundMe link will be down in the description, and they are just uh, $2,500 away from their goal. So if you guys can spend $1, $5, or if you're someone who's got money and want to share it, not with us, but with family streaming. So links down in the description, and prayers out to that family. But let's get into the big news coming out of this past weekend. So not only have the betting odds changed for this draft class, but Adam Schefter going on a podcast, a Commanders podcast of all things. Shout out to the Trap or Dive podcast with Jamal Forrest. And Schefter pretty much said, y'all need to go out and get your Jayden Daniel jerseys. I'm gonna start with Tim. What did you think about hearing that little clickbait, little soundbite coming out of this past week?
It meant nothing to me. I think Adam Schefter, for me, I don't think there's anybody that's fallen out of grace quicker. The Lamar Jackson April Fool's BS that he did last year, it's like you can't do that
Yeah,
when you are somebody so respected. And then to like act like everybody else is crazy for believing it and being, it's like, dude, you have been the voice for the NFL for like 15, 20
yeah,
years of when you report something, it's real. And he's in the last year and a half or whatever it is, he's become a joke. And so that literally did not move the needle at all for me. I literally did not care that it was like air. I may as well have said it. Up, I'm reporting. You should go. But it's literally that same
right.
level. And so no, it didn't move a needle for me at all.
Fair enough. Chris, what you think? Kind of hearing that and been like, the fuck?
I didn't care. I didn't care. I don't care what Adam Schefter says. I
Damn,
Yeah, it's
mean,
sad.
I
it is
really
sad.
don't like. Honestly, I can't even trust like half of these news reports half of the
Hmm.
time. Whether it's from Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter, I only
Yeah,
trust like the accounts I follow on Instagram. That being Washington on the daily, Skins, Commanders coverage. I mean, those guys. I mean, those
fair.
are the only people I can trust on there.
I mean, that's fair.
I mean, so but hey, if we were to draft Jayden Daniels, I'm depending on how that first season goes, I might have to get a jersey of him.
Fair. I like, as much as I was like, man, how, he said this, can you believe it? I'm like, the amount of smoke screens the past month, just a month alone, these past 2 weeks alone, saying it's Drake, it's Jayden. They're gonna trade back for Mike. They're gonna get JJ at 2. Man, did you hear? Man, these Bo Nix to Dan Quinn rumors. If you get him in the second round, I'm like, like, I think all these quarterbacks have a great shot, especially Drake, Jayden, and Caleb have a great shot at being top 15 quarterbacks, top 12 quarterbacks, because I think your first 6 QBs right now are solidified. He's got to interchange 1 through 6. But honestly, I'm like, cool. If he thinks we go it, great. If not, somebody had to be wrong in this process.
Yeah, if you say everything, one will be right.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Man, I can't, bro. JJ had this awesome dinner with the Commanders. Did they all go to Top Golf? Doesn't matter. Did you see? I found that hilarious. She took all every prospect that went in was like, we're going to Top Golf.
Yeah. No, I like the biggest thing that tells me who they're drafting and why I'm leading Jayden Daniels is the report that he picked him up from the airport.
Yeah.
That is Dan Quinn's move.
Yeah.
When he loves you and when he wants to build a relationship with you, like a bit of a partnership and or whatever, like that's the kind of stuff he does. Right. And I don't know. It's only been reported about Jayden Daniels. Maybe they just didn't report him picking up from Drake Maye, picking up Michael Penix. I don't know what that is exactly. But if true that he only picked up Jayden Daniels from the airport, then I think that that's the guy.
Yeah.
Like, I think that he's the one that Dan Quinn, or at least he's the one that Dan Quinn wants.
Right.
How important is that? I don't know.
Yeah.
But it seems like should be pretty darn important, and I think that would be the direction they go. But that was the biggest push for me in one direction or the other. I'm a big Michael Penix guy. He's my favorite in this draft class.
Okay.
I do like JJ a lot as well. Actually, I didn't like how much I liked JJ when I started looking into him, but he's actually pretty darn talented. He's got wheels. He's got a nice arm. He's got accuracy. He's got a command of the offense. He's got throw on the run, throw on the move. Like he's actually a pretty darn good quarterback.
Yes.
I actually have him rated higher than Daniels and Maye. So it's Penix. I feel like I'm exact reverse of what everybody else wants.
I think you are.
And it's only because of what I've seen and what I actually prefer.
Right.
But and not trying to just be different. I really like Michael Penix. I like JJ. I like Jayden Daniels, and then I don't like Drake Maye. I'm not a Drake Maye guy. Now, if we do draft Drake Maye, it's not going to be one of those Emmanuel Forbes picks where I freak out and be irate, because he does have physical traits and tools and arm to have potential, but he's going to be a project. He doesn't have great footwork. He does not have great pocket presence.
Nope. The experience.
He's a guy that I'm not super excited about, and I just can't get over it. He wears that number 10 in that North Carolina blue, and I just see Mitch Trubisky being drafted at number 2, and this is who we end up with, right? And he does have a bit stronger arm, which is good, but Mitch Trubisky had more mobility than he does. So it's a give and take. We'll see. But Michael Penix is my number 1. That guy is phenomenal. Great athleticism, super strong arm. It's only the injuries for me. That's it.
Yeah.
But the sack to pressure ratio is fantastic. JJ, he's an Alex Smith type guy and could be very, very good at the NFL. So he's not it's not a guy that I'm drooling over, not my favorite, but I think he's very good. And then you have Jayden Daniels that I'm concerned with. His arm strength is not fantastic. I think it's good enough, but it's not elite by any means. And I don't know if his athleticism will be that great at the NFL level, because I don't think he's a Lamar Jackson or even a Justin Fields with his speed. I think he's a very good athlete, but more at the college level. So he's a guy that I'm concerned with. And then I just mentioned my concerns with Drake Maye. So those are my takes on these 4 quarterbacks. I don't think that they're going to go Penix, because the injury history
Injuries.
is lengthy, but I hope they do because I think I love his leadership. I love everything about him.
I think
want
he's
him so
great.
bad. Yeah.
I mean, you basically answered the question I was going to ask to get this segment was, are you Team Drake or Team Jayden? Out of those two, I think you're Team Jayden, but you're really Team Penix.
100%. That's exactly right.
Well, that's going on. That's going to be great content for right there. Team Penix. Team Penis Junior. Penix Junior. I mean, but Chris, I'm gonna go to you. I'm gonna continue kind of rolling into this. Are you Team Jayden? Are you Team JD5? Team Drake Maye? Or are you like Tim and saying, I hate all these motherfuckers, I'm going Team Penix?
Team Jayden.
Team Jayden.
Yeah.
Love Jayden Daniels. Loved what I've seen from him on his highlights and his film and stuff. Arm strength, only concern, but if we're being real, he can work at that, by working out and stuff, so it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, no, I like Jayden Daniels. I've seen what the guy can do. He's got mobility, which is nice, maybe he could pull a fake slide out here once or twice.
The old Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, the old Kenny Pickett, but I mean, I really hope we drive Jayden Daniels because I swear if we drive Drake Maye, JJ McCarthy, I'm going to throw something out my window. But you know what? I mean, what would really shock me is if the Bears passed up on Caleb and we were to snag him.
Dude.
Yeah, that's not happening.
It's not
I went and looked.
It's
He's their only top 30 quarterback visit. That they're not even being around the bush. Like they're not even pretending as if they're not doing the Adam Peters stuff of trying to be. Oh, we don't know who we're taking, but they honestly, it might be honest. As crazy as that sounds, they did the same thing with the coach.
Yeah,
he couldn't pick.
Nope.
Until eventually, it got down the line. Like everybody's like, "Oh, it's Ben Johnson. It's Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson."
Bobby Slowick.
And Bobby Slowick. I was a big Bobby Slowick one. But Dan Quinn sold them. He was the most impressive in interviews. He's got the resume. He's got experience. Where you have Adam Peters that doesn't have. He's got a lot of experience, but not at a GM. This is his first stint at GM. So
players swear by him.
Yep. So he sold them in the interview process. A guy that I think that could sell them a lot is a Michael Penix Jr. In that interview process. I think he is. I bet he's killing that process.
Yeah.
Throughout this whole thing, and I think he's going to make it very hard on them. Will they pull the trigger? I doubt it. I think it's less than 5% or something like that. But there's a chance. Dumb and Dumber, right? So you're saying there's a chance.
I mean, hell, remember the 21 draft class where they're like, is it Mac Jones? Is it Trey Lance? Is it Justin Fields? And they went out and grabbed Trey Lance. And it probably should have been Justin Fields.
Oh, that was nuts to me. I liked Trey Lance, but I was very high on Justin Fields coming out.
I think if Mac Jones went to San Francisco, he wouldn't have gotten the flack or I don't want to say disrespect because I think some of it has been earned, but I think the amount of dragging through the mud he's gotten.
I hated Mac Jones. Always hated him. Never was a Mac Jones guy.
I hated him because I'm a Florida fan, so SEC rivalries aside, I thought going to the Niners, that Kyle Shanahan offense, he would have done great in. I mean, look at Brock Purdy.
We'll
see. I mean,
we'll
see.
We won't say. We won't see, but because that didn't happen. We can't go into an alternate universe.
Exactly.
But it's a
hindsight.
I'm just not a Mac Jones guy at all.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I'm glad we didn't take him, but I do think New England didn't help him at all, especially the 22 season. I think they did him no justice. Sans justice, as the French would say. But going back to our team, I'm gonna go. I think from where we stand at number 2, and them basically saying we're not moving back from 2.
Yeah,
I think it is going to be Jayden, not only because of the potential. I think you look at who you brought in. Kliff Kingsbury as offensive coordinator.
Yep.
Who is he coached that is what Jayden Daniels is? A good size, decent arm, mobile quarterback, who can run. Mahomes in 17 at Texas Tech.
Uh-huh.
Kyler Murray at Oklahoma. Caleb Williams at USC. Kyler Murray in Arizona. I think I'm forgetting another quarterback in there somewhere.
Well, I think he coached Case Keenum as well, but he's not in that same
bracket.
Yeah. And he had another one that he coached that I was surprised to hear about. Who was it? Shoot. Another great season.
Let me look real quick. Kliff Kingsbury, QB.
Johnny Football.
Oh, Johnny. Oh, yeah, Manziel. Money, Manziel.
I think he was a Manziel coach.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so this is just based off of what the Commanders put us. He's coached Case Keenum, Johnny Manziel, Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray, and then this past year at USC with Caleb Williams.
Yeah, so he's helped put together some of the best college football seasons.
Yep.
Ever.
Yeah. So Patrick Mahomes gonna go in the Hall of Fame eventually, and he's gonna be in the conversation as the greatest quarterback of all time. I think it's Brady just because of longevity. It's same thing with LeBron. That's another story for another day.
Yep.
Caleb Williams, Heisman Trophy winner, consensus #1 pick. Would have been #1 last year if he came out, probably.
Williams?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Considered one of the greatest college QBs these past 2-3 years. Kyler Murray, Heisman Trophy winner.
Yes.
I think. Yeah.
That was like when Oklahoma was getting one every year.
Yep. Yeah. So Kyler Murray, Heisman Trophy winner, #1 overall pick, got a big ass extension, and has played good. I wouldn't say great, but I wouldn't say like bad football. I'd say like good.
No, the only reason I don't like Kyler Murray is he can't survive a season.
Yeah.
He's just too small to play that style of football where he runs a lot. He doesn't even have to take that many hits because I liked him in the beginning because he slid a lot.
Yeah.
He avoided as many hits as possible, but it doesn't matter. Like if you go through a 17-game season now with 5'10" on a good day, 80 pounds, or something like that.
85 at the best.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah, it's just he's a guy that he won't survive to be great forever.
No.
But I liked him a lot. I thought he should have been the #1 pick, and he ended up being. So he's definitely a beast.
Kyler Murray right now is listed at 5'10", 207 pounds.
5'10", 207 pounds.
So he's
actually that big? Yeah, he's bulked up. Okay, good.
That's what ESPN has, and the NFL has him listed at 5'10", 207 pounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
At 26 years old. Only 26? I feel like it's been longer than that.
I think it's a generous 5'10".
It is a generous 5'10". But if he's 5'10", then what's Bryce Young? 5'9"?
I don't know. I'd be curious to see him stand next to each other.
And then put him next to Derrick Henry.
Do back to back. Yeah, which one's the quarterback? Who's the quarterback in this room?
Swerve. There's two of them.
Yeah.
You go Derrick Henry, Mark Ingram, Kyler, Bryce. Just you draw a line. Yeah. I'm going to hell for that one. Yeah. But no, you bring in Kliff Kingsbury, you bring in Marcus Mariota as your backup quarterback. What was he at Oregon? Good mobile QB with a good arm, some of the best jerseys of all time in college football, and a good offense. And as much as people say, man, him in the NFL got him gray hairs. Granted, he goes to Tennessee and Philly and now us, so not great organizations. It's outside Philly. But I think he brings a good experience playing that style of football when he was younger and saying, hey, you've got to slide. You've got to not take these hits. And even a Jeff Driscoll, I think, brings that pocket passing, stronger arm QB to the coaching room and saying, hey, running's great, but we get paid to throw the ball. Well, what was the old word that someone said they don't like Lamar Jackson? He's not quarterbacky.
That quarterback. Yeah. I prefer my quarterbacks quarterbacky.
Quarterbacky. Ma'am, all you were missing was all she was missing was one little consonant that kind of looks like this, and she would have gone deleted off this earth.
That looked like that one went over my head. Well done.
Quarter blacky is what people were saying.
Oh, quarter blacky. Jeez.
Although I had seen him as my MVP because I think he had one of the greatest seasons in the past few years at the running back position, but he was in San Fran. Who gives a fuck? All right. Yeah. But I think Lamar also earned it, so I can't say shit. But But I think because of the personnel they brought in, the coaches they brought in, I think the talent around him, you bring in Austin Eckler or Zach or two are older, yes, but granted, can still play ball, bring a veteran leadership to both rooms and saying, hey, you got security blankets at both positions who frankly have helped Justin Herbert in LA and Kyler Murray in Arizona and Carson in Philly when Zach was there. Everyone was saying, man, these are some of the greatest at their position. Bring them over. They're older, but you've got, I don't want to say guaranteed success, but you've got something there that says we've got a track record of helping young quarterbacks become better.
No, I loved the moves we made throughout the entire. It's bargain bin shopping in a sense, but they're all potential. They all have potential, but we're not selling out for this season because who cares about the season? We're not doing very much this season. Like if we make the playoffs, that's a bonus. Like we're not winning a Super Bowl. Like if we could be the Texans this year, that's awesome. You know, surprise in a playoff game or whatever it was. Perfect. Like I think that has potential, but you don't go whole hog to be a first, maybe a second round exit. Like you go whole hog to be a champion. And I think in year 2, I'm very curious to see what they do as a general manager, front office room to build this team, but that's not where we are now. I love the moves they made though. I love the Eckler pick, very reasonably priced. And you know, Ertz, I think we need a tight end. I don't think he's a guy that you can rely on for a full season, but we could have done much worse. We could have stuck with John Bates and Cole Turner. That could have been our plan.
I have faith in Cole Turner because he is our Kyle Pitts. They never use the man.
I was never a fan of Cole Turner. I watched because Carson Strong was a quarterback that everybody was talking about that year. And so I watched Carson Strong film like 3 games of it, and Cole Turner drop passes, more of a zone beater, never doing much. Like he did not impress me at all in that film. I was focusing on Carson, but he was one of his favorite targets. Yeah, so he was throwing it to him quite often, and then same with Romeo Dobbs, who's played well. But so no, I was never a Cole Turner guy.
I liked him because I think the value in the 5th wasn't the worst they could have grabbed in the 5th round. Was a project tight end who could be used on a few screen sets. Honestly, is what we've used him for.
To me, he's not a tight end though. If you can't block, you're not a tight end. I feel like we need to start gatekeeping the tight end position a lot harder. I was a tight end in college, so bear with me.
Touche.
But if you can't block, you're not a tight end. Okay, Kyle Pitts is not a tight end.
Yeah.
Darren Waller is not a tight end. Like they're beasts and they're fantastic. Jordan Reed was not a tight end.
No.
Mark Andrews, I don't know if he's really a tight end because I don't think he blocks very well.
I think didn't he play QB in high school and he transitioned to tight end in college?
Potentially,
wasn't he one of those two?
But yeah, so there's guys out there that are not George Kittles, are not TJ Hawkinsons, are not Sam Laportas. Like these guys, like, dude.
Travis Kelce's.
We need Travis Kelce is a mediocre blocker, but he tries. He does his best.
He does try.
But yeah, no, it's I want a real tight end, and I have my guy that I'm eyeing. I hope they pull it, but he was not a top 30 visit, so I'm scared.
I have two. You say Brock Bowers? They ain't getting Brock Bowers, and that man is going to be a Jet or a Colt.
Ben Sinnott.
Thank you.
I love that guy.
Us, Adam and Neba. Shout out to Adam. We've done a prospect on Sinnott. I also like who's a little undersized and could be moved to wide receiver.
Isn't he 6'4", 250? Oh no, you're talking about somebody else. Go.
Someone else. I want Ben Sinnott like the world. I want that man there. But I think someone who they could take later, and I still would think is a better pass catcher than who we have, is Shaheem Bell out of FSU.
I'm not familiar.
They lined him up everywhere, and he was doing nothing but catching.
See, I don't want that. I want a tight end. I think the tight end is so underrated. I'll get on my soapbox real quick. I won't be long. I think tight end is such an underrated position because when you have a tight end that can do both, block and catch, it opens up your offense so much more because you don't have to be predictable.
Mm-mm.
right? You don't have to bring in a blocking tight end. You don't have to bring in the John Bates
Yeah.
of the world to run, like, or you don't have to bring an extra lineman. Like, remember when Jordan Reed was here? I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys were going to games then. I was going to quite a few back then, and I've heard
Nah.
so many times over the loudspeaker, number 57 is reported eligible. Great. Now we know exactly what the play we're running, and it's a run right behind him. If he
Yeah.
lined up right, we're running right. If we lined up left, and
Left.
it's made it so predictable with Jay Gruden's offense that when Jordan Reed had to leave, you have to do this now. You can't do anything
Yeah.
else. And when Jordan Reed's on the field, you can't run with him because he can't stop getting a holding call. So it was. I want the George Kittles. I want the TJ Hawkinsons. I want a guy that could do both. And Ben Sinnott is
Yes.
the dude.
Kansas State. Give me a wildcat in that position. Imagine him doing a wildcat. Just taking a snap. Just blowing up behind our offensive line. He'd die back there. No, I want Sinnott. Like I only want Jaheim Bell because as much as I'm a Florida fan, so go Gators. I think he played great at FSU, and I think because he would be the whole Turner replacement too. He's just a little bit smaller, but if they put him to wide receiver, cool, you got a nice 6'3" wide receiver you can use anywhere on the field.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I want Benson and there's another cat. Jared Wiley, TCU.
Yeah. Jarris really likes him. We brought him for a top 30 visit, so he may be a guy that we'll see.
I mean, they both wear purple and white in college, so you never know. They might get them mixed up.
Wiley and Sinnott.
Dan, just Josh Harris in the box. Dan, who is that white tight end that wears purple? Which one? Him.
Yeah.
Actually,
TJ Hoops Manili.
Oh god. But no, I want Ben Sinnott. But yeah, back before we went on a tight end spiel, which I think is also great to talk about. Is I'm gonna go Jayden, but I do like Mike. I like Mike Penix Jr. I like MPJ a lot. I think if we had done it better and we were somewhere in that 8-9 category, I would have said trade back and take him if we still weren't gonna keep Howell. But I think they want someone who they're like, he's got the experience. Like Drake Maye, the only issue with him, like a consensus across the board, like you can make your little notes, is the experience. He's only had 26 career starts in college.
Yep.
Jayden Daniels has 5 years in college, Arizona State, and then LSU 4 years.
But only one really good one.
Only one really good one.
Yeah.
It tells you something when his receiver at ASU was Brandon Ayuik.
Yeah.
He's been there for a hot minute, but Brandon Ayuik is going to get paid and probably traded. So
we'll see.
We'll see. Here? I do think
they're leaning Jayden. I think that's more likely the pick.
Now, if they get somehow got Jayden and they traded for Ayuik, I'd be like, who are we? We don't ever do this.
Yeah.
I'd be here for it. I just want to see the compensation because there's going to be at least 2 second-round picks, at least.
I think so.
But they told Jacksonville no for 17 for their first-round pick. So I'm like, what do they want?
Oh, I didn't even hear about that portion of it. Apparently they said no to 17.
They were going to give 17 and something else for Ayuik, and they said no.
Wow.
Ayuik Jaguars trade. I'll pull it up and I'll put it on the edit when I go to edit this later tonight. Wow. So back in March 21st, the Niners, so the Jags were going to trade number 17 overall and Zay Jones to the Niners because then the Jags would also have to pay Ayuik, but that got denied, which is all right. Zay Jones, not the greatest, but 17 is a decent pick because you could get Brian Thomas right there,
and
you could get an offensive tackle at 30, and you can wipe your hands with the offense. Everything else can go defense.
Do they need a tackle?
I mean, I think Trent Williams is aging, so I think they want someone there just to make sure they've got.
Oh shoot! I was for some reason on Jacksonville's roster. I was on the
Oh,
whole
I
other team.
I think Jacksonville needs a few things in mind.
Yeah.
But no, I think Niners. I think they'll grab offensive line at 30 just because they want depth, especially at center and guard.
Yeah.
And
No,
Morgan
they-
can.
their O line was not great last year.
No, it wasn't.
It was Trent
Um,
Williams and a bunch of dudes like
Yeah.
Jags.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a whole trade. I'm like, that didn't go through, but also got to pay probably $100 million to Ayuik.
Mm-hmm.
Might be warranted because Devontae just got 86. Devontae Smith. I think he's better than Devontae, so he'll get at least 100. I don't think he'll get more than 110. That's just me. I don't do numbers. That's why I'm an art major. I don't like numbers.
I mean, he should get a lot more than Christian Kirk.
Yeah, and Zay
He
Jones.
And didn't Christian Kirk get like 20 a year?
He got a big contract. He got like 4 years, 90 mil.
Ridiculous.
It was crazy numbers. Let's round this off. I'm gonna go Jayden. I want Ben Sinnott. And if we got Brandon Ayuk somehow by the grace of God, I just wanted to see the trade compensation. That's all I need. If I see 2 seconds, if I see 36, 78, and a second next year, I can get behind it.
I'm not in it. I would rather just draft. This receiving class is so deep.
It is deep.
That if you were that interested in, there's going to be a stud there at 36.
Xavier
There's
Leggett.
going to be. I like Leggett is a guy that's very stiff in his routes. He's going to be a DK Metcalf style, but he's not as tall.
Right.
I love Keon Coleman if he falls.
And FSU.
Troy Franklin if he could potentially be there. Xavier Worthy if he sneaks out. Probably not after running a 4.21 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Probably not, but I would love that guy.
There's
so much.
I think if like someone like a Ricky Pearsall or Roman Wilson was 6'3", we'd be set. But them being 6 and 6'1" respectively, which they're my size, just lean, mean, and got a hot ass girlfriend. But so do I. But I think because Terry's 5'11", 6 foot.
He's 6 foot.
He's 6 foot. Jahan is 6'1".
5'11".
5'11".
5'11".
5'11". Gummy Brown's short. Jamison Crowder is old.
He's like 6 foot. Crowder might be like 5'10", 5'11".
I think the biggest receiver we have on roster is Mitchell Tinsley, and I want him to get a shot because I think he played fucking fantastic at Penn State when we drafted or when we signed him off free agency. But I think he's only 6'2" or 6'3".
That's fine. Let him play out there.
I want him to play. What are you talking about?
Yep.
I want him to play. Hold on, Mitchell Tinsley. How tall is this motherfucker? Right.
But my point is, there's so much talent there.
There's talent
that you can get a much cheaper, like $23 million a year cheaper.
Yeah.
That even if Ayuik is technically better, you're still getting a stud for way cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not trading extra capital on top of it. So I would rather just throw my darts and take one of these receivers, whoever falls to me and I like the best.
Yeah.
Because if we can get Keon Coleman, I love that dude. He's my favorite receiver in this class, period.
Got to move Jahan back to a slot.
The slot.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. I think the only thing with Keon Coleman, then we'll start wrapping things up, is just the drops. That's the only thing that worries me, is the hands.
Dude, I've seen some catches that his hands are nasty. Yeah. So I would have to look at the drop rate. I don't remember what his drop rate. I haven't looked at it in a while. I just loved what I saw from him.
I think it's like an 8 or 9% drop rate.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be fine. We'll be good.
We'll be okay. I just wanted to talk about it. I just wanted to, speak our minds on it.
According to this, he had an exceptionally low drop rate.
Oh, who was I thinking?
3.8%.
8% with who was I thinking who had like 8 drops this past season? Was it Troy Franklin? Yeah, Troy Franklin. He had 9 drops. He had a 10% drop rate. That was the thing. Troy Franklin.
Gotcha. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Keon. I was like, dude, this guy is like snagging one hand joints out of the air, middle of the field with 2 guys around. Like,
my apologies, folks.
Yeah,
my apologies, folks. I
didn't look into it for a while, but I was like, I'm shocked that he has bad hands.
I was talking about Troy Franklin and Troy Franklin. He'll go to the Chiefs. He can join Kadarius Toney as the drop brothers.
Maybe. Yeah.
But no, we'll say that he'll be the next great wide receiver in Kansas City.
Dude, can fly. He's got great size. I like Troy Franklin, but the drop rate is concerning. My favorite receiver though in this class is Keon Coleman. I think he's my George Pickens of George Pickens draft. I had George Pickens #1 receiver in that draft too. The only reason he fell is because he didn't have a whole lot of production in Georgia. They didn't throw a lot, and then he had attitude potential problems. So, but I love that guy.
I mean, NFL young boy for a reason, but he can play ball, making insane catches with the best of them. But long story short, I'm gonna go Jayden. But yeah, I mean, the betting odds to me don't really do anything. Today, FanDuel went now has Drake Maye at minus. Drake Maye barely overtakes Jayden Daniels. They're both at 115 as of 8:55 yesterday. So Thursday night, when you guys see this, will be Saturday. But like MGM has Jayden Daniels minus 130, Drake at plus 100 still. I mean, either way, if you bet one, you'll probably break even if you're lucky. Betting odds don't do a whole lot for me anymore.
Yeah.
I don't gamble, but I'm like, so I think last year they had like what, Will Levis, or 22, they had like Will Levis minus something, and he fell to the second round.
That's true. Well, no, wait, wasn't that a meme?
The meme was that he was going like number 2, like he was gonna be the first 2 quarterbacks taken. But then if you looked, the betting odds were him like a minus 200.
Yeah, but I feel like that was because all betting odds is where's the money? So when people bet a lot of money on one direction or the other, that's where how the odds move.
Odds work.
Vegas doesn't just like, they come up with an initial line, but they don't just move just because they're having fun with it. So I feel like I do remember, like, it was some gambling Twitter people that
started
everybody started slamming Will Levis to change his odds, and then they could bet a different direction.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
Hilarious and weird at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up saying I think no matter who we take, I don't think it's gonna be a bad direction. Now, if they take Michael Penix at 2, I think we're all gonna scream and have a little bit of a cow, because that's way too high to grab Michael Penix Jr. at 2. You might not. You might pop over some fireworks and a little bit.
I would be through the roof. I love that guy.
All you see,
about his injuries.
All you see is champagne dreams all across Tim's wall. But if we moved back to 11 with Minnesota and got like 2 firsts, a third, a second, third, and we took him, I'd be like, cool. He might fall later, but you solidify your project for the next year, and Mariota would start, which wouldn't, tickle my loins the way that Jayden Daniels might. But I don't think anybody expects Michael to start day one, polished products, ready to go, because injuries concern me like it concerns everyone else. Except Tim. Tim might.
I'm a huge fan.
The day after the draft,
I understand your take is much more common. I understand that.
It is very.
I'm okay with that.
I know if I go too outlandish, either Chris is going to destroy me, Justin, Andrew, or someone will. I'm like, I might as well just take the high road. Hashtag Bo Nix for 2024. Anyway, although I do like me some Bo Nix.
If we took him at 2, then we're all getting together with the pitchforks.
Now, where's my bat? Just everyone goes to Aspirin.
Yep.
Burn it to the ground. But I think if it's between Jayden and Drake at 2, I don't think they can really go wrong per se. But I mean, that's just me. That's as common as it sounds, as cliche as it sounds. At sitting at 2, if it's Drake Maye, Jayden Daniels, and they throw in a ticket saying Drake Maye or Jayden Daniels, I don't think we're all going to be like, how could they do this? Worst pick of my life. Worse than Forbes. It's to be like, cool.
I agree.
I can get behind it. Yep. I think it's a great pick. It makes sense. Let's move on.
Yep.
Forbes. We have a whole stream backlog of, oh God.
Yep.
Nightmares still haunt my nights and dreams.
Mhm.
But to wrap things up, Tim, can't thank you enough for coming on, having a time with us.
Thanks for having me.
I said 30 minutes. We went a little bit longer than 30 minutes, but I thought I had a great time.
I talk too much. I take blame.
You and me both. We talk a lot, and Chris is just like, I'm just here.
Just give me Jayden.
Like Chris's entire thing should say his name tag. Just take Jayden.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
oh,
Just do.
don't overthink it, right? That's what
Yeah,
everybody's
exactly.
saying. Don't overthink it. Take Jayden. That's the phrase, right?
Yeah, and because they overthunk it last year and took Emmanuel, and they should have taken Chris Gonzalez. That's another story
Yep.
we all would agree with. That's a fact of life. But again, guys, can't thank Tim enough for coming on, staying late with us, having a great time. Welcome back to YouTube. Congratulations on being a father.
Thanks.
Hope all goes well, and hope we have a great time going into the draft. Because after who we take, it's gonna get mayhem galore,
Yep.
and I am all here for it.
It'll be fun.
It's gonna be fun. All right, guys, let's wrap things up. Don't forget to like and subscribe here on BIB. Like, subscribe, the notification bell to show every time that we upload, because we're gonna have an episode. See you guys on Saturday. I got one coming out on Tuesday, and we got the live stream, and we got some post-draft stuff to talk about. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, up here, links down in the description. You're gonna go follow us over there. Prospect breakdowns, different types of reels, different types of preview thoughts going into the draft, and then content afterwards. You're not going to want to miss it. Head over to the Tim's Sports Talk. Yes, there's two X's. One for Tim's, one for Talk, one for Sports, because I get those messed up. Instagram and on YouTube, links down in the description. Give him a follow. He's been nothing but kind and amazing to us, so we can't thank him enough. And hopefully we have been just as nice in return.
You guys have been great. Thank you for having me. It's fun.
Thank you. Like I said, guys, like, subscribe. Prayers out to AJ's family, the Simon family. Just a soul gone too soon. He was, I believe, 25, and he was hoping to get it drafted in the NFL. He had a great season for Albany. Just a life gone too soon. So if you guys can donate $1, $5, 5,000, link down in the description to the GoFundMe to help the Simon family out. But let's go into the draft. I mean, hell, let's go into this weekend and have a great time. But the draft, when you guys see this, will come out in 5 days. We are Trustway days away. Smoke screens galore. Smoke screen central is what we are in DC. And I haven't been this excited since maybe the 2019 draft, where we sat at 17 and took Haskins. Maybe.
Yep.
Yeah. And even then he wasn't guaranteed to make it to where we were. But can't wait, guys. Let's enter this weekend. Have a great time. Handle those Commanders, and don't forget to stay ballin'. We'll see y'all out there.